Welcome to Buffalo Bills pregame week 6 after a big victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. 4-1. People are talking about playoffs around town. You have to love Buffalo when the Bills are good. Top story this week, Perry Fewell coming back to town. Perry Fewell, of course, was the interim head coach before Chan Gailey took over. And it was, in fact, Fewell who gave Trent Edwards finally the bench and put Fitzpatrick in the starting position. So, Nikio, you think Perry Fewell feels some extra pressure coming into Buffalo? He wants this game?
I'm not so sure if he'll feel any pressure. I think he'll make sure that his defense plays, the way he coaches them to play. I mean, it seems that since our defense is pretty much coming around, it may turn into a defensive battle because he wants his guys to show, that he was a good coach.
Jared, the familiarity that Fewell has with the Buffalo Bills, do you think that's going to be an advantage to them, or has Chan Gailey come in, change up the personnel, change up the scheme enough that we are kind of past Fewell's time here?
Well, I mean, the problem is we don't really know what's going to happen because we've never seen Gailey versus Fewell before, unless you really want to go back and look at Gailey versus Fewell in the Bills-Chiefs games back when Tyler Thigpen was the quarterback. That's really the only time period in reference you got when those two really went head-to-head. And, well, when they did, there was a lot of high scoring, unfortunately, so that doesn't really help Perry Fewell out that much, which is good for the Bills since we're coming to New York to play Perry Fewell. However, what we should keep in mind, though, is that Fewell, like Gailey when we played the Chiefs, is going to have... He wants this game. He wants it. He wants it to happen badly. So we got to just look for that. He's going to be riling up his defense probably more than most games because, let's face it, he was a good idea for a coach, and we didn't go with him.
I liked him as a head coach. Do you think the Bills are going to be feeling the pressure as the underdog, or they perform better in that situation going into the game with the Giants' favor?
No, that's a good question. The reason I think it's good. I'm glad because here's the thing: all year, whenever we've not been favored, we've won. The only game we were favored was the Cincinnati game, which we lost. So you know what? I don't care. Well, let's be the underdogs every game. We'll go 15-1.
Do you think we have a lot of time left as underdogs, Nikia?
Not too much. I think it depends on how everybody else performs because it seems that when we have to come from behind, that we can win. Sunday was the first time where we actually had a lead, kept the lead and closed it out. So, I mean, it all depends on, how we continue to perform because it's like, yeah, we may be the underdog and we kind of show it and then all of a sudden the light bulb goes off second half and then all of a sudden we win. So, we got to be consistent. We got to play 4 quarters.
I know the city of Buffalo loves the spot we're in. Us being the underdogs just makes us more likable, and I think that Bills fans couldn't be happier. I don't know too many people who are really worried about this game, and a year ago, knowing that you had to face the NFC East coming up, we were much more scared then than we are now, for sure. Mm-hmm. The Giants, our offense, their defense, are we going to be able to move the ball against, maybe 2 years ago was one of the top tier defenses in the league? They've suffered some injuries. Jared?
I honestly don't think we're going to have a problem as long as we stick to the running game. Chan Gailey, I don't know if you thought this, Nikia, when you were watching the game, when you were there, but my first thought was, oh my God, Chan coached. He did what he had to do. He's running the ball. He loves passing the ball. We know that. But he was running Fred most of the time. And that's, unfortunately, for Chan, we have to do that against the Giants. They're not a good run defense now either. They've had a lot of injuries. Chris Canty's now going to be in because Jimmy Tandy was suspended 4 games, I believe. So, I mean, that's O.C. Umenora is not nearly as good as he used to be. Justin Tuck is out. They have some issues on the Giants side of the ball. So, I think we're gonna be able to pound the rock and do exactly what we did last week. To be completely honest, I don't know about nearly 200 yards, but I think that's what needs to be the game plan going in offensively.
We've got 5 games worth of tape on the Bills' offense right now. Do you think this is a week where C.J. Spiller gets used more, Nikia?
I hope so. I mean, I hate to see the Bills draft these number 1 picks and not use them, or they turn out to be busts. And I think part of his reason is we haven't used them. I don't know if they don't really know what to do with them because Fred Jackson is running so good, so they just kind of let him sit the bench. And I'm like, dude, you got bench behind the old guy. So I mean, he's not that old, but compared to him, you know, he's a first round draft pick and he doesn't start. I mean, how often does that happen? It happens often here in Buffalo. So I'm hoping that they figure out to use them both. Yes, I like the run, but I also think that we kind of need to know when to switch it up. And sometimes it was like you should have been passing, and they would kind of stick to the run. So I'm hoping that, you know, they figure out how to use them both.
Now, if you've been watching the pregame show for any time at all, you all know that we're all huge Naaman Roosevelt fans. Do you think that Donald Jones' injury is going to have a huge effect?
Oh yeah, I'm hoping that he steps up to the plate. That's what you want to see. You want him to see now that he's given the opportunity. He can show people, yes, I'm from Buffalo. Yes, I went to UB, and I'm a good football player. So, you know, he may open a door, you know, for, you know, other people. We got, you know, Mike Williams playing down in Tampa. That kind of puts Buffalo on the map sometime. So I'm hoping he steps up to the challenge.
O.C. Umanura may not be the player he was, but he may have some advantages, the matchups on the defensive line as he moves around. Do you think there's any place in particular where the Bills have to worry about O.C. coming from?
Yeah, I mean, if Chris Hairston's only starting the second game, and last week he played against the backup, he did pretty well, but let's face it, he played against Daryl Tapp, who's a backup. So this week he's playing against O.C. Umanura. I think Hairston's going to have a tough game. It's really his time to show that he can be a real starter in this league, and I'd love to see him do well so we can prove that. I mean, I'm happy with our 2 tackles right now, but it's always good to know that we have that third one there, just in case. So I'm looking for some good things from Hairston, but it's going to be a challenge for him. He needs to really prepare. I don't know how much more he can prepare, but, you know, it's going to be a challenge.
On the defensive side of the ball for the Bills, Hakeem Nicks and Manningham, they're both willing to go over the middle. We all thought going into the season that our linebacking core was going to be a strength, but we've had some inability to stop some offensive production up the middle of the field, running and passing. Do you think that there's anything that we need to change, or we have a better chance against this group?
I don't know, because they're a pretty tall group of guys, and our DBs aren't that big. So that may be the challenge for them. And with anybody, if you spread them out 9 times out of 10, it's a first down. And that's not a good thing. That everybody kind of knows that all you have to do is spread them out, and you can run up and down the field, you know, all day, every day. So that's something that they really need to work on. I mean, for some reason, George Wilson, I don't know where the light bulb went off at, but I don't think he's heard his name called that many times ever in his whole entire career. We heard his name more that Sunday than we probably have heard, you know, his whole entire career. So
11 tackles.
Whatever happened or whatever he did this week, he needs to keep doing it.
AFC player, our defensive player of the week this week, George Wilson, congratulations. A big fan of the show, I heard.
He did have a conversation with Justin at practice.
Did he?
They had like about a 5-minute conversation about actually the lockout. That's a true story. I'm not making that up.
I've been a long-time fan of the NFC East. I've watched Eli's entire career. So much of the Giants depend on whether or not he shows up. Like, which Eli is it going to be? We talk about disrupting the quarterback every single week, it seems. It's a fundamental here in the NFL. What do you think the Bills are going to be able to do against Eli Manning?
Well, he's been kind of a flip-flopper in terms of his good weeks and his bad weeks. Last week he had a bad week, so God, I hate to say this. I think he's going to have a good week. Plus, I can't stand what Eli Manning did during the draft. I go back to the draft all the time with Eli. He picked his team. Like, you just don't do that. Like who is he to pick what team he's on?
You're still caught up
I'm
over
still
that?
caught up on that. He should be a San Diego Charger right now, or maybe in the UFL after he got cut. Perhaps. I really don't.
The Vegas Gamblers?
Yeah, he could have been, no, the Las Vegas Locomotives. Sorry. Anyway.
They misnamed that team.
Yeah, I don't understand it. What the Gamblers? Anyway, we're getting off topic here. With Eli, he can do some good things when he sets his mind to it. I'll give him that credit. So I think he's gonna do his homework, and I think he's gonna target McKelvin a lot. He saw what happened last week. I'm sure he watched film on the Eagles game. He knows what he can do. He's going to target the middle of the field. He's going to also use the run to his advantage, because he's going to know that Kyle Williams, Terrell Troop are out. We're going to have to play around with Spencer Johnson and Kellen Hurd, and hope they can do something.
All right, this week's topic of discussion, and I love these topics of discussion, the where are they now? And this is the one that hurts Bills fans the most. Scott Norwood, or actually maybe when you hear the answer, it helps them the most. I got two questions about this. We'll start with you. Jared's done some research. Scott Norwood, where is he now?
He is living in Hornell. Well, he's married with 3 kids, and well, for everyone on the show who is also single, I mean, I give him credit on that aspect of life. Congratulations on, finding some woman to love you after what happened. But anyway, what I'm gonna get at here.
Obviously not a football fan.
The New York Giants fan.
Yeah, perhaps. But anyway, no. What I was gonna say was no. But he's
Bill Parcells' daughter.
to his credit, I don't know where we're going with this. To his credit, he's working a 9-to-5 job, and he's doing something with real estate. He's selling insurance, doing real estate.
Jared, Buffalo Bills, what do they need to do to win?
They need to run the ball. I said it before, I'll say it again. Fred Jackson Fitzpatrick just needs to feed Fitzpatrick needs to feed Fred Jackson the rock and just let him do what he does best. And when we need to throw, we'll throw. Just run the ball.
Nakia?
I'm actually kind of with you on this one. I usually like defensive stuff, but I think we need to be consistent with it. We got to play 4 quarters of football. We can't, not play the first half and then all of a sudden let a light bulb go off second half. So I think the key is playing a whole game, playing 60 minutes.
That new Meadowlands Stadium is super impressive. Those New York fans are rabid. They don't have Yankees to root for. They've got spending money to go. There's no baseball playoffs. Losers. And so they're going to be crazy. I say we don't get scared by the lights of New York City. We go in there, we score early, and we take control of the game early. Picks.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. I am actually going to finally pick the Bills this week. I'm going to pick them to win 23-20.
The most optimistic fan among us. Finally picking the Bills.
Yes.
I was going to say, I'm going with them. I haven't picked them maybe once this season. So I got to stick with my 7 and 9. So I'm actually going to pick them to win this one. But I'm going more that we're going to score because, their defense is a little shady. So I'm going 30-23.
I've been bit too many times choosing against the Bills. I'm picking the Bills in a barn burner, 38-31. Go Bills. Next week, bye. I'm going on vacation.
What are you doing after the bye?
Well, it's a 40-hour week here at the Buffalo Bills pregame, so I might go down to Ithaca, hang out.
That's great. Well, what's the game after the bye week?
The Redskins, NFC East, we roll through. Go
Toronto.
Bills. Roll Tide.